What's going on, guys? Welcome back to my channel. Tuna Los here. So what I'm going to be showing you guys in this video is basically how to professionally customize your own trading station here on Webull. Before we get started, if you guys are new, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, but let's get right into the video, okay? So we're first going to talk about the basics of this broker, basically where you can find the tools, how to put up the charts, and how to bring them together. And then we're going to show you how to bring in volume indicators and how to mix that with execution and certain tools around that. And then just basically how to put them in tabs so it can be very, at least from your perspective, a professional way. Because sometimes this broker compared to other brokers isn't the best as far as professionalism. It's very beginner friendly. And when it comes to commissions, this broker is it. I'm telling y'all. But let's get right into the video, okay? So obviously this is how it looks on a desktop version. So first things first, before you guys even dive more into this video, if you guys don't have this broker up on a desktop version, just simply go on Safari or your Google tabs and just simply search up Webull desktop download. And then when that brings up, just go and download basically whatever is customized to your PC or MacBook or whatever. They have it for all types of devices. All right. So when you guys get into that, then you should bring you here after everything's downloaded. And before you even get here, you have to log in with your credentials. So make sure obviously you have a broker login, and yeah, so you log in and then boom, you should be here. So once you're here, make sure you pause the video until you get here. And if you're here, let's get with the video. All right. So obviously you're going to have these tabs. Let's first talk about it. So first things first, with this heart section is basically your watch list. So you're going to see your whole watch list here. Self-explanatory. Then you get to the stock section. I don't know why I don't have nothing up here. I've been dealing with this the whole time, but usually you should get the heat map and a whole lot of stuff around the markets, basically stocks, and it should all pop up here. So usually when you first log into your broker, you're gonna see it. I don't know why mine does not show it, but it's irrelevant anyway. So next, then you're gonna get to the market section, get more of the heat maps and other stuff around the markets. You get to see more data such as top stocks in the market, active markets, ETFs, top options, futures, and the list goes on. And then even here you get to see future IPOs, initial public offerings, so stocks that get first initially put on in the New York Stock Exchange and get published. You could trade those and you can see how that, which comes up, upcoming, some that already got filled and listed. Then you're going to go to screener. This is your own version screener that they give for you. Just a screener of everything. Pretty cool. Then you get your account. Obviously, I'm not going to do that here, but you were to put your credentials and your account info pull up here. You can withdraw, deposit, manage up what do you call it? Your profits, your drawdowns, everything of that sort as far as your account. So that's that. And then here's a customized version tab where you can basically customize your own trading stations and charts and all that fun stuff. And this is basically where you're gonna be hands-on in this video. And then down here you got the paper trading. And yeah, I don't use this, but they got this here. So for those that like to practice and play with fake money, here you go. Right. But let's get right into the video, starting with the custom station. Okay. So here's basically where you're going to be building your own trading station, and it all starts up here. This is what we call our tabs. So this is my version of trading station, at least from this monitor. So I got the big screen here. I got my main operation screen. So basically where I just see the overall market all in one screen. I also got a market views, just another 6 charts up, and then that's pretty much it. Okay, so it brings us here. This is how we start our own tab, our own trading station that's of some sort. So obviously it gives you some free ones. They're all the white ones here. Everything else are just my custom ones, so you're not gonna see that. But if you guys want to start with any one of these, you guys can and just work around it. But for anybody that doesn't know how to use this broker, I would advise to go here to the blank one, and then what should automatically pop up should be this right tab here where you can basically put all the widgets that you're gonna need for your trading station. So to make it simple to set up your chart, obviously you got to do is just press the chart and you'll get one to pop up. All right, so for those that are very, they look at a lot at the same time when it comes to charts, there's a fun thing that you can do here, right? So obviously you'll max this out to your screen or however you like. Let's just make it to the screen in this example. And then you have your toolbar here. So what this is basically your tools, and yeah, how you can use all of them, from everything you can, from drawings to, your candles and your lines, and also multi charts. And then you can also use this to compare other stocks versus the ones you're watching. Very fun. Let's take that out. How do we take that out? Actually, I think it's right here. Oh yeah, boom, and then yeah, and then you got other stuff here that's not important. All right, so to make multiple charts, all you gotta do is press this area where it says grid, and then all this should pop up. So let's say you want 4 charts, you just press 4, 4 will pop up. Then you can press this little bar thing, whatever, and then all these will pop up. If you want up to 9, I think it only does up to 9 here, so you can put all different stocks in. And yeah, this is so cool with this broker. So if I wanted to put, you know, this stock here, or say Nvidia here, you can do so. And everything is managed through one screen. So if you want to manage the time frames, all you got to do is just go down here and you can see it there. And you just got to make sure you press on the chart that you want to focus on, and then edit it. As you can see, it does not do it to the others until I press it. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. So for those, depending on how you want and how many charts you want to see, you can just have one tab with that chart on it. And yeah, maybe for beginners, for it not to be too much, you can put anywhere from 1 to 4. I would advise 4 or 3, just so you can see at least the main indexes and at least 1 or 2 good stocks with it, at least Tesla or Nvidia, however you want to diversify your watches for the day. But that's just that, and that's just basically how you do it with charting. Okay, now what we're gonna do is open up another tab, and now we're gonna talk about Turbo Trader and options and how to, you know, put that up for you guys. Okay, so we're gonna put a couple things on here. Same thing, when you guys open up a new tab, this pops up. So what we're gonna press is we're gonna press options. Okay, we're also gonna go here to trade, and we're gonna press Turbo Trader. Okay, we're also gonna put up one chart in there, and then we're gonna put up order book, and then also time and sales. Okay, so obviously they're gonna possibly pop up like this when you add them, pretty disorganized, but remember, you guys can move them. All you gotta do is just press the tops here, and they're all separate. Okay, so I don't know, I'm not gonna be here and make this pretty, but however you guys want to put it, depending on how wide your screen is or how small your screen is, just make sure everything is visible enough. And we're gonna first start with the options chain here. Okay, so we're gonna move Turbo Trader like over here. Let's move options chain like a little big, probably like right there is fine. We're gonna move the chart right next to it. We're gonna make it symmetrical to the options chain of some sort. Make this like that. Then we're gonna move this over here, and then we're gonna have this right here, and then just symmetricalize that. And then we're just gonna move this here, which is time and sales. Put that there. And I don't know. Let's move this here. I don't know. Okay. So basically what the Turbo Trader is, this is very beneficial for day traders and scalpers, really, because this is how you're able to execute in a matter of just a button. I know most times, especially people that like to trade on their phone or Robinhood or any other broker, they like to bring up the ticket. Like, for example, let's say we wanted to buy these contracts, you see this ticket pop up, and then this is where you get to the editing. All right, I want to get to market limit. All right, how many contracts do I want to buy, sell? Is it a put, like, you know, which strike, all these editing. By the time you figure out what contract you want and at what price and how much you want to risk, I feel like the move already happened, like you missed out. So with Turbo Trader, I love it because all you got to do is really just select your contract that you want, and then it will automatically put it here, where now you just got to basically press a button and you're in. Okay, so before anything, once we have all these up, let's make sure we group them together. All right, so how to group them together? Remember, every tab is separate. Okay, so on each tab you should see this negative bar where it says set as group. We're gonna press it, and for this example, we're gonna make everything on group 1. So let's move them together. I'm gonna do that to every tab. And my alarm should. All right. Oops, that's 1. All right, so now since everything is grouped together, once I press or change anything on either or, they're all gonna move in sync. Okay, so in this example, let's put up a Google stock. Oh yeah. Now you can see how everything just changed into Google. Now this is on the Google chart. Order book is on Google, and Turbo Trader is on Google, and so is time and sales. So that's just that. Just to show you guys how to group everything together. That's going to be very important from now and throughout the whole video. Okay, now we're going to go here and edit our options chain because now we need to see the right data that we need to see when it comes to option picking. Okay, so what we're going to do here, we're going to press these dashes where it says option items on the left side, and then all this should pop up. So for my advice, I should only have, let me just mark them off. Boom, boom. Take that out, take that out. I need volume. That's pretty much it. I feel like all this is what you need to have, and you can kind of section them off to see what you want to see first. I would advise to probably see the delta first, because what the delta is, it basically tells you per dollar move on the stock how much your contract would pay you. So basically, the higher the better. All right, so that's just good to see because it will just really tell you when it comes to contract picking how premium your contract is or how much it will pay you. So I feel like that should be first things first. There's a whole lot of science around option contracts, so I feel like this is self-explanatory. If you could pick a red delta contract, that contract will pay you. So make that first. Then you get the bid and the ask. Bidder, sellers, asker, buyers. So if you're buying a contract, you got to see that on the column, and then the same thing with the bid. If you want to sell your contract, you see where the bidders are on the column as well. Very important. Implied volatility, open interest, and volume. Everything that you need in a contract. So you will basically have them all up here. And then when it comes to strikes, right now, as you can see, there's 6 that are being given. So you can edit that. I would say 30 are good if you're just like day trader, scalper. If you're really more of a swinger, you could put like 50 or all of them just so you can see everything across the board. But for day traders, scalpers, especially for people that don't have a big monitor, or if you're working off a laptop, I feel like 30 strikes are good. But from right there, you got everything you need on the options chain. You got to see the delta, the bid, the ask, the implied volatility, the open interest, and volume. And that's all in one tab here. So that's basically it for the options. Now, let's get into the charts. So the reason why we have the chart grouped in with everything else as far as options, because once the option ticket is placed on the Turbo Trader, you're now going to see what is called an option chain chart. All right, so let's see that. So right now we're getting the stock chart. Right now you're going to see the option. Let's plus 255 puts. Now you can see how everything changed. Right, you can see more on the order book. You can see now the graph is completely pricely different. So this is very important when it comes to seeing your contract move in price, because a lot of times you can only see it, change its price just very rapidly in color or whatever. Here you can actually see it by the chart, which is very cool because you can treat it as you're doing like regular technical analysis, which comes in handy because you can see where in your contract there's more buyers and more sellers, and that can really help you when it comes to just executing when you want to buy contract or sell. So this comes in very handy. So I would advise you guys to just make sure to have this up. But that's just that, right? As far as the chart, time and sales really give you the orders in the market that has been placed and filled. So this is basically what you want to see when you're seeing basically aggressive movements in the market from candles. This is what you want to focus on. Order book, this gives you the market orders that are being placed in the market. So this is where you can see large order large order placements on certain area prices. So this could help you with order blocks and all that fun stuff. Definitely do your own research on that, and I'll definitely have a video talking about all this. So just bear with me in this video. But that's that. And then Turbo Trader, like I said, is a basic tab where you can execute your orders efficiently and effectively. All right, so since we went over the main parts, now it gets us into the Turbo Trader. So let's edit some things on the Turbo Trader before we get real talky on it, all right, so I trade options. So for those that use the same broker for the same reason, let's just take off stocks, everything related to stocks. I feel like with this broker, if you want to buy anything stock related, you can just do that through your phone. It's very simple, very self-explanatory, very more easier than just doing it through a desktop, honestly. But options, everything has to be up there. So with options, make sure you have buy market, buy ask, sell market, and sell bid. And then down here, make sure to have quantity up. We're gonna take out sub orders. Have order confirmation, and then down here we're gonna add cancel all single options of current symbol, and then also have cancel all single options. And then you could keep these up. basically mean the same thing when you reverse and flatten. And then down here, have close working orders and positions up. And that's pretty much it. Now press done. Now you're going to see, hopefully yours look like mine, okay? If you are specifically an options trader using this broker. All right, and then from here, self-explanatory. You can see the ticker that I had up that we used an example for this chart, 255 puts on Google, and you can see that right here placed. So at this point now, everything's just matter of a button. So if I want to enter with 10 contracts, 25, 1, even if I wanted to raise it using the bar, I can do that here. And this is just how you edit your contract. So make sure, in order for this to sync in with this right here, quantity settings is checked, and make sure order confirmations is checked off. And make sure you press OK here. And the reason why you want to have this checked off is because right when you press the order, it does not ask you for an order confirmation. You just simply enter the position or exit with just a button press. If you have this checked up, once you press this button, a widget will pop up asking you to confirm this order transaction, which is freaking annoying because it just takes away seconds from any execution we're trying to do. So for those that have tight, quick strategies that they use around the open or early in the markets, make sure you have that checked off for great efficiency. But that's just that on options and Turbo Trader. This is very handy. So if you guys are scalpers, day traders, make sure to have this all up, okay? And let's look into other things as well. So since we're done with this tab and we have this tab as well with our charts, now let's get into another tab. And I feel like this could be our last tab that we can create, that or you guys can create. But what these tabs are is just it's a mixture of fundamental tools, and I feel like this comes in handy when it comes to professionalism, because when it comes to, you know, stocks, you know, it deals a lot economically, and economically it moves the markets a lot. So it's good to know what's going on. You'll see a lot of random movements in stocks, turnovers in stocks, and with this type of data, we get to see what's going on firsthand before social media does, if that makes sense. So let's get into it. All right, so what we're gonna do is obviously create a new tab, and then this is gonna pop up. Now let me just find it. What we're gonna do is have our news. We're gonna have news here. This is curated news that gets brought up to us firsthand, and you get to see the time of each news that gets dropped, right? And there's certain focuses here where you can have it focus on certain stocks. If you wanted to have on your whole watch list, you can have your news section to your whole watch list, and you get to see everything all labeled and the exact time it got posted. So most times where stocks, like for example Nvidia last week, when it basically invested 100 billion in open AI, that happened during market, right? And what I was seeing during the market trading hours, I was seeing Nvidia just randomly shoot to the upside. Like it was breaking past so many levels, so many targets that I had put up, and that was just random. Like we were seeing it trade in range all morning, and then randomly around 12 it just did that. So I was able to go here and see what was going on, and to then see Nvidia labeled somewhere where it said, oh, Nvidia bought 100 billion in what is it, in open AI. So I'm like, oh damn. So then from there I was able to take advantage of it, and then obviously use my strategies around it and make money off that news. And it was great, and I was able to do that just looking at this news tab. So that's just basically, you want to have this news tab up, and you'll see it play in benefit when you're trading. You'll be so surprised. So you'll definitely want to have news up. You can have other things up here as well, probably like analysis. This doesn't really do much, but that can work for you. I don't know, look into whatever you guys like. Financial statements is cool, you know. And mind you, most of this stuff is kind of like put up in these tabs, like markets, for example. No, not markets, screener. Yes, screener. So, you know, that could come in handy. You don't really have to build stuff around it, but I say definitely have news up and just work around that, especially on your watch list. That comes in handy. But yeah, that's pretty much it here. If you guys want to have, you know, anything up here, that's up to y'all. You guys can have fun with this broker. My job was just to show you how to professionally set it up, you know, on Webull. Like you know, like I said, this is my kind of version of it, at least from this monitor. So, you know, it's, as a professional trader, it's very important for us to, you know, see everything in the market. So, you know, to someone that, you know, doesn't know what they're doing or is new to the business, they're gonna look at this and get a headache, or, you know, tell themselves like, hey, I don't need to watch all this. You know, I do feel like for anybody that trades stocks, especially options, it's important to look over the whole market. You don't need a lot of monitors. You don't need a lot of you know, laptops, but you definitely need a lot in information. Like you need to find and have a workplace where you get to access a lot of information. So, you know, because a lot of this is much more than just pressing buttons and making money. Like it's definitely a business. You have to be entitled to these companies and what goes on quarterly, monthly, and how it affects the stock itself. Because if you don't, you'll be missing out on a lot of opportunity. So that's just my take on that. But this is just a video breaking down how to professional traders use Webull and how to use Turbo Trader. So appreciate you guys watching, man. Let's get it.